Hi, this is James Cook, Associate Professor of Sociology, and today I'm here in the UMA Augusta campus community garden, where we grow food that is organically raised, and we donate all the vegetables to the Augusta Food Bank in order to help feed food insecure Mainers as part of the public service component of the university. But that's not why I'm here today. Today I'm here to look at flowers. Particularly, I'm interested in looking at sunflowers. Why don't we take a look? These are sunflowers that I grew right over here from seed. Sunflower seed, all the same seeds, taken from the largest of the sunflowers in a year. Ones that were, some of them 12, 13 feet tall. But if you notice, where my hand lies is not 12, 14 feet tall. And in fact, you can see an entire row of sunflowers that struggle to make the 2-foot mark. So, what explains that? Well, to see one explanation, we can take a look slightly over the fence to these. These lingering flowers, which are mostly past their prime, are known as Jerusalem artichoke because they have edible roots, but they are also part of the sunflower family. They are a perennial kind of sunflower that dominates the American prairie, where they're let to live. And when they were at their peak, these Jerusalem artichokes, these sunflowers were a good 7 feet tall. And the thing they did was to block water that would be coming through sprinklers and other forms of irrigation from the garden. So where water is not present, an environmental condition, these sunflower seeds are pretty low down. But let's take a little bit of a walk and look at what happens when all of a sudden we get past the row of Jerusalem artichokes, which blocked the irrigation, the water from the garden. And all of a sudden, my goodness, we have some pretty nice sunflowers. These are at their highest height, a little bit taller than I am, and I'm just a little under 6 feet. The bees, both honeybees and bumblebees, are happily collecting pollen from them. They have larger flower heads, larger leaves, and are much taller. They're going to produce a lot of seed. They look different. They look very little like their short cousins. They're 3 times as tall. But that's not the end of the story, because this is the corner of the garden where we can have a series of nice 6, 7 foot tall sunflowers. But if we want to find the tallest sunflowers, again, all grown from the same seed, well, we need to look at the middle of the garden, at least the middle of the outside, right? And here we are. This is the entrance to the garden. It's in the center point, right? So it's not on a corner. This is where the water coverage from elsewhere in the garden was highest. And you could look at me and I could back into these, and at my height, you're not seeing any flowers. That's because you really have to look up and up and up. There we get our nice 12-foot sunflowers. And so it's interesting that the same seed, all taken last year from the very tallest sunflowers in the garden, don't always result in similar looking plants. Why is that? It's environmental conditions. Some environmental conditions, as for this garden with its annual sunflowers, have to do with water. There might be other conditions for plants that might have to do with soil quality or what minerals are in the soil. Although this garden is pretty homogeneous in terms of its soil quality. But what does this have to do with people? Well, people are the same way. You can start with the same genetic seed, and that's what a seed is, and people start from seeds as well. But you may get widely different results based on the conditions in which a plant grows and the conditions under which a person grows. Studying that context, that environment, is therefore essential.
What color is the flower Queen Anne's lace? On the surface, the answer seems pretty simple. Take a look in a field and you'll find it everywhere. And there are a few undertones of yellow or brown. There's a stalk of green, but the flower itself is white. And yet, as many children know from a summer arts and crafts experience, if you take the stalk of Queen Anne's lace and you cut it and you place it in a jar of food coloring, that color will go up the stalk of Queen Anne's lace and turn it into a different color. Divide that stalk in half and put it one half in each of a solution of different food coloring, and half of the Queen Anne's lace will turn one color and half the other color. Now you might answer that this is artifice. It is something that is imposed upon pre-existing natural order, and you might be right. But at that point, regardless, the color of the Queen Anne's lace will be different. Perhaps purple, blue, red, green, any kind of color. What is the natural state of Queen Anne's lace? What is the observed color of Queen Anne's lace? Sometimes those two questions lead to different answers.